Alright, this is another life for boobie, right? And then, I promise this is the last one I'm getting on your nerves, right? Me and my boy yesterday, we had a conversation. We caught up for a little bit. That was the one helping me with, well, I was helping him with the basketball hoop. We had a conversation about happiness. Like, what is happiness? And I think that's a conversation that we often asked each other a lot of the time, and we asked ourselves a lot of the time, but we wasn't always in a position to actually find the answer, because we had to prioritize so many other things in that moment of still trying to figure out what happiness was. And I think I found it. If you got a different version of it, let me know. But happiness is the moment. Happiness is what you feel in the moment that you create. Happiness is in the decisions that you make to give yourself an experience. Happiness is in life and perspective. You know, I can tell you from my experience, you know, there was a time I was two different versions. Like, the man I am today wasn't the man I was in New York and a few years ago. My perception changed. And I think a lot of the time, really it changed because I've had a few life and death experiences in between. You know, matured, you know, been shot at, stabbed, jumped, shot, just lived in an environment where it's just like, it's not even happiness that I'm concerned about. It was more about survival. It was more of being in an environment that all I can focus on is other variables besides myself. And I think that's the difference between survival mode and life. It's hard to find what happiness is when you're in survival mode. But when you separate yourself from that environment, you have more clarity to see other things besides what you're accustomed to. Right? I think that was really the life-changing part of my life, was when I was in the military. After I got out the military. After I separated myself from family and friends and actually got to isolate myself and be by myself. And I think that was when I was the loneliest. There we go, that's the word. But at the end of loneliness, I found clarity. I found peace. And I found joy. It's weird because when you become your own happiness, then everything is happy. Like, yesterday we had, we spoke about this, Professor spoke about this, which is so weird. My professor spoke about it, me and my boy spoke about it, and now I'm speaking about it in a podcast. So it has to be something that it has to mean something. The professor showed us a chart, right? It was a chart of happiness, right? So what it goes is experience that makes us happy, life experiences that make us sad or depressed, like something happened, mom died, or some shit. Experience, okay, you just graduated, you got a happiness out of it. So happiness comes in waves. And the psychological thing behind it, I always go back to what makes sense, right? You create the happy moments and the experiences that you make. Like me, when I'm bored, I give myself an experience to make myself happy. Right? I'm always chasing that happiness, so I'm always happy. And I don't focus more on the negative things. I turn the negative into a positive. Because when you've been through a lot, you know, you compare what you're going through compared to what you've been through. And what you're going through is usually not as worse as what you've been through. And that's how you look at it. One thing I've learned from the military is perception is reality. A lot of the time when I used to look at things in a negative light, I only got a negative result, a negative mindset, and a negative outcome. Right? When I looked at things in a positive result, like I could break my leg today. I can get out the car, open the door, break my leg. Damn. Fuck. Right? Well, at least I don't have to go to school today. Right? Cool. Hey, look, that's like 2 weeks off of work. Right? Great. I can draw on this cast. Right? So that's how I think. That's what keeps me motivated. You know, great. Hey, I broke my leg. It's not cancer. It's not AIDS. You know, there's people who have it a whole lot worse than a broken leg. I can fix this. So really what it breaks down to is how you look at things, how you view problems. and also how you fix problems. A lot of people fix problems by just focusing on the problem and disregard the solution. Like when I have a problem, immediately I already have a solution and a positive outlook on the problem, right? So that helps me solve problems a whole lot fucking quicker. So I think happiness really is a mindset and the experiences that you give yourself. I think that's what happiness is. And I was trying to tell my boy that. I don't know if he received what I was telling him. Well, you know, it might be food for thought. But if you're miserable or if you're sad or depressed, maybe you should focus on things that make you happy. And if you're lonely, sit in your loneliness. I think that was the best thing I've learned, because I always thought that other people are supposed to make me happy. Like, oh, I'll be happy if I find a decent relationship. I'll be happy if I can sit there and go out with my friends. No, I can be happy with myself. And then when you're happy with yourself, you attract other happy people, because people are happy to be around other happy people. Or people are happy to be around people who are happy. I know if I had a choice between somebody who's depressed, ready to cut his fucking wrist, and somebody who wants to go to a fucking amusement park, I'm going to the fucking amusement park. I don't want to be around that guy, right? But I think really don't leave it up to other people to make you happy, and find the things that make you happy. You're like, I don't know what makes me happy. Right? Find it. The little things. You know, you want to go to the park one day, go to the fucking park, right? If food makes you happy, take yourself out to like a restaurant or McDonald's. McDonald's not really a restaurant. Technically, it's a restaurant. You know what I mean, right? But find the things that make you happy, and you'll always be happy, right? I stare at the stars when I'm by myself and I'm in my thoughts or whatever like that. I go outside, right? I'll just stare at the stars and just be chilling, right? Happiness. So I don't know if that answered anything, but if it answered something, it would be happiness is not in others, is in yourself. Life of boobie. Happiness.